Packers will have a first and goal. Receiver to the right, Jimmy Graham. Rodgers, quick toss in the flat, left side, got his man for the end zone, and a touchdown.
First and Goal podcast on Spreaker.com. And we're now on all your favorite platforms: iHeartRadio, Spotify, Castbox, Google Podcasts, Tumblr, YouTube, and SoundCloud. You can always follow us on Twitter at First and Goal Pod and our Facebook page, facebook.com/First and Goal Pod 33.
Get money, yeah. Get money, yeah. Get money, yeah. Get money, yeah. Every day I'm
And welcome, everybody, to another live edition of First and Goal with me, your founder and producer, Jay in the UP. And as always, down in Georgia, your host with the most, it's Dave.
Hey, folks, what's going on tonight?
It's going.
Oh, yeah, it's going all right. Well, you know what? We're starting off a little rough here, folks. Not going to lie. The number we were provided for guests tonight for some reason isn't working, but we are working on that technical difficulty right now. And we know what we can do. We can roll off with some news updates.
There you go, Dave.
Well, you know what, guys? A biggie that's been happening, the rumblings and rumors I kept mentioning of Stephon Diggs has been confirmed. He isn't happy in Minnesota. He's come out and said that there's truth to all rumors. You know what? On that rumor, man, the rumors were he wanted out. He wasn't happy because the play calling is going from passing to run heavy run calling, and man, it's shocking because it seems like the Vikings want to implode, and it's only week 5, going into week 5, and they look like a huge contender this year, and it completely switched over. So now that Diggs is confirming that the rumors are true, he obviously isn't happy. The team doesn't want to give him up. But, I mean, what if a team, even in the same division or the conference, comes out and, bam, offers a huge deal that they can't resist? Because I don't think anyone's going to offer a first for him, but what if someone offers a first and another pick? I mean, I think they take it. Jay, you there?
Sorry, I am just messaging him my number so he can call me and we can patch him in.
Okay, sounds good. All right, good. Glad we got that squared away. I did not know Greg was in Canada. Oh, man. Jay, you got a neighbor up there.
Yeah, don't you know, dear?
Hey. Well,
and we have Greg with us. Thank you very much for calling, and we got you patched in. Thank you very much, and welcome to the show, Greg.
Hey.
Oh,
how you doing tonight?
He's there. What's up, Greg?
Well, just been watching a little bit of football.
Yeah, I've been watching that Seattle Rams game as well, and, man, I watched that Tyler Lockett touchdown. And good God, you talking about toe drag swag.
That was unbelievable.
For a little receiver, you'd think he wouldn't be able to stretch out and make that catch, but, man, he's in sync with Russell Wilson, 100%.
Well, Wilson's in sync with him. He trusts Lockett, and that's what it's about. There was no window there. Whoa.
No, it was a creek. That's all. It was like a little crease. That's it. That's all it was. And then
he did the
Russell
same thing with the
Wilson.
over-the-shoulder to his tight end later on. Okay.
Yep. You mean Mr. Will Disley?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I'm liking that
Well-
'cause he's on my fantasy team.
Yeah.
But before we get started, because you are a first-time guest, and we have a tradition here on First and Goal Podcast, for all of our first-time guests, we like to have what we call break time. It's time for you to introduce yourself to all of our listeners out there that don't know who the heck you are. Brag yourself up. Tell everybody how great you are. Pat yourself on the back and give yourself a big hug. Go ahead, Greg. Tell them what you're all about.
Well, I'm a 50-year Cowboys fan. So for all the haters out there, you'll never get me to change. You can find me at Greg Cowboys on Twitter. And basically, I love the game of football. So that's what I'm about. You betcha.
Another piece of humble pie, man. Another humble guy. I love it.
I'm gonna start.
Well-
I'm gonna change the name of this segment here pretty soon. We can't get we can get 1 out of 15 people to actually brag for themselves. I'm gonna have to totally just dump this thing.
Bragging doesn't come easy to old Marines.
Well,
Well,
thank you
hey,
very much
I'm-
for your service, sir.
Yeah, from one
Thank
side to
you.
another. Appreciate your service, brother.
Same here, brother.
Well, you know what? Let's go ahead and jump right in. I know we're watching Seattle Rams, but the real game of the week is at 4:25 on Sunday, folks. It's Green Bay at Dallas, and that's why we have Greg here so he can represent them boys. And we're going to jump right into it, Greg, with how these two teams have met up recently in the last 10 years. Do you feel that there's a renewed rivalry from the 90s to now? Because they used to play each other quite a bit in the 90s, and now it seems like it's picked back up.
Exactly. It goes even further back than that. But
Well, yeah,
there's not too many people old enough to remember the ice bowl and all that other stuff. But the '90s people remember, because you had Brett Favre versus the triplets and all that good sort of stuff. So yeah, that's where the rivalry was born. But back in those days, it was the Cowboys who seemed to come out on top. In this go round, it's number 12 seems to find a way to do what he has to do.
Yeah, you know what? I got a buddy who's I served with. He's a huge Cowboys fan, and he calls Roger the Cowboys killer. He goes, he's always breaking our hearts, and that's what he always tells me. I'm like, dude, you guys have won before in Lambeau. It's not like that. And he goes, yeah, but it's the fact that Rodgers has come into Dallas constantly, and there's always wins there. He goes, that's the problem. He goes, you can't defend your home turf. That's a problem. So that was his big thing. It was actually
that's been one of my biggest beefs with the Cowboys for the last decade and a half at least.
Well, the
days of defend. That's right.
Jerry Jones
the days of defending the Stars gone.
Well, no, because when Jerry Jones allowed them and he built that new stadium and he opened up that to the Super Bowl, the minute that Aaron Rodgers went there, played, and won a Super Bowl, he was never going to be uncomfortable there again. He made that place his home in 2010, and so he every time he walks into that stadium, that memory is he's always gonna be comfortable there, and so yeah, there is no home field advantage in Jerry world because of that big game of his career, of what the result was and where it was played. Yeah, that kind of screws that up for you guys. That's a goofy, wacky thing, but yeah, it's not something you normally see. But yeah, in this circumstance, he said it himself many times. He walks into that stadium, that's the first thing that starts to strike his memory. He's comfortable there, good memories. It's really not. It's hard to rattle him in Dallas.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
that's for sure.
I mean, the
other downside to Jerry's palace is the fact that you don't get enough crowd noise in there to rattle any opposing quarterback. You look at where that game is tonight out there in Seattle. That is a nightmare. It echoes in there so badly. Jerry's, I could hear a pin drop. Oh, the crowd's over there, are they? Okay. I mean, sound-wise, it just doesn't intimidate anybody.
It was built for an old man so he could hear the game of football and enjoy it without getting a headache. Because the stadium in Seattle is literally, they talked about it, the way it's built and those flaps and everything, it like helps reverberate the sound back down to the stadium.
Exactly.
Floor. Like, yeah, and the way he built that, he could have designed it and had it built so that, yeah, the crowd noise was amplified by that dome and everything, even if the roof was open. That was just a choice. When you spend $1.425 billion on a stadium, you're damn right you can design it to be a noisy issue if you want it to be.
That's right. No, I didn't do that.
Well, with you mentioning earlier how the rivalry kind of went back to the 60s and the Ice Bowl, as you just said, I got to ask this. From all-time Dallas Cowboys, who's your favorite 3 Dallas players and your one person in Green Bay's history, if you had to pick one, to play for Dallas?
Okay, well, my all-time 3 favorites are the very first Cowboy I got to meet, and that's Ed Too Tall Jones, Staubach, and I go back to the original number 88, Drew Pearson. They will always be my top 3 Cowboys.
You would get along very well with my father. He is a diehard Cowboys fan. He has a mural that he put on this huge 24-foot long piece of wood that's about 4 foot wide, and it's just the whole stars of the 70s era Cowboys, and it's everything from Staubach to Dorsett to Pearson, all of them across there, and it's just. He's hardcore. He even tells me, he goes, where did I go wrong making you a Packer fan?
Well, I'll tell
Something went wrong in the DNA.
I'll tell you this.
No, come on.
Oh, no. Everything is right with his DNA. The green and gold.
Well, exactly.
People just don't like green and gold because they envy the championship colors. That's all.
Oh, here we go.
Well, I'll tell you this. I'll have to agree with you because I am up in Canada. And the green and gold up here, the Edmonton Eskimos have more of our Grey Cup championships than any other team in modern football history, and they are the green and the gold. So there you go.
And the
shout out to the CFL.
Yeah, and the Packers.
Yeah, that's the CFL.
13 NFL championships and 4 Super Bowls, and nobody else is even close to that. So it's the green and gold thing has got a championship theme. I know, in all of football, it's a weird thing. It's weird. But anyway,
although the Eskimos were wearing the green and gold together before the Packers.
You damn Canadians have got to be first.
I'm still not forgiving the Canadians to go ahead and that Winnipeg mess up on the field they had, man, in preseason.
Oh, that was silly. Hello,
playing in an 80-yard field. Oh my God!
But again, why the NFL knew that going in too. So they screwed that up.
It's the same thing as Mexico City game. If you knew the field was going to be in that condition, why even let that get like that? Yeah, I completely agree. It's the NFL's fault for those international games.
Mm-hmm.
And then
they can find a way to screw it up.
Well, I got to go ahead and get back to that question. Who would be your one Green Bay Packer you would want? I know it's kind of like picking which poison because I know there's been that Dallas Green Bay rivalry always back to the 60s, but I got to ask, which Packer would you want on your team as like a favorite player that's a non-Cowboy?
Well, I'll take number 12. Thank you. Yeah, you could have put him down in putting a star on that helmet. Wow, yeah.
All right, we'll respect that. I like it.
Most definitely.
Well, since you say number 12, that's kind of ironic because honestly, I know it's going to sound weird, but when the argument and always comes up about who is the best 12 and the original 12 and and the Brady and all this, I always just kind of chuckle to myself and I think it just kind of shows you how people are just so stuck in their modern way of thinking and they just forget because I'm 36, okay, Greg? So I'm a young guy, relatively yet. But when that argument comes up, the first person that I think of as the original number 12 is also the original of the modern